How does Joe Rogan live in luxury? Joe is one of America's most controversial podcasters. This is a glimpse into his unique personality, success, and wealth. This will be a revelation. Our team scanned the pages of Celebrity Net Worth, Top Speed, and The Street to unravel his luxurious lifestyle that is nothing short of the ordinary. Stay tuned through the last roll of this video to learn how much wealth he has accumulated in his lifetime. How did it all begin for him? At 21, he performed his first stand-up routine in 1988 at the Stitches Comedy Club in Boston. Moving to Los Angeles in 1994, he booked his first national television spot as a stand-up comic at MTV's comedy show Half Hour Comedy Hour. He also booked his first major acting role in the Fox sitcom Hardball that year, playing Frank Valente, a young egocentric star baseball player. The sitcom ran for 9 episodes. He starred as Joe Gorelli, an electrician and handyman in the NBC sitcom News Radio from 1995 to 1999. From 1997 through 1999, he worked as a backstage and post-fight interviewer for the mixed martial arts show Ultimate Fighting Championship. He hosted the American edition of Fear Factor for NBC, starting in 2001 through 6 seasons till 2006. He reportedly earned millions from his hosting this NBC show for the 6 years it lasted. In 2002, he returned to the Ultimate Fighting Championship show as a color commentator. He became the co-host of Comedy Central's The Man Show for its 5th season in 2003 to 2004. He played a major character in the movie Zookeeper in 2011. In the same year, he returned to his Fear Factor hosting gig for its 7th and final season. He hosted 6 episodes of Sci-Fi Network's television show Joe Rogan Questions Everything in 2013, covering topics such as the existence of Bigfoot and UFOs. He appeared in HBO's Silicon Valley in 2015, Netflix's Bright in 2017, and Netflix's comedy special Strange Times in 2018. Joe continues to perform in sold-out comedy stand-up shows around the U.S. and remains to be a UFC commentator. On a yearly basis for his live comedy shows, it is estimated that he earns in the vicinity of $23 million, while for his UFC commentary, he receives paychecks of up to $2 million. He sure made a big splash during his tenure as a stand-up comedian, actor, TV host, and UFC commentator. How much could this have contributed to his net worth? Keep watching and find out. When did he enter the world of podcasting? It was in 2009 that he launched a free podcast with Brian Redban, a friend who was also a comedian. It was initially a live weekly broadcast on Ustream. It became known as the Joe Rogan Experience by the following year. It has become one of the most popular free podcasts available. The show's massive popularity and growing listenership drew interest from multiple media platforms, including Spotify. 2020 saw him inking a multi-year licensing deal with Spotify, making it the exclusive home of his audio and video feeds. It necessitated the removal of the podcast's archived episodes in YouTube and iTunes. The terms of the deal were initially undisclosed, but were revealed in 2022 to be a 3-year, $200 million contract, translating to $67 million annually, inclusive of production costs. Spotify came under fire for the Rogan deal, as he was renowned for spreading COVID-19 misinformation and hosting anti-vaccination pundits. In addition to this, he publicly uses the N-word profusely and makes racist comments on the side. In protest, 270 scientists and medical professionals signed a letter urging Spotify to take action against Joe for his spreading pandemic misinformation. Famous musicians such as Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, and India Air Simpson threatened to pull off their music from the platform and encouraged the public to boycott Spotify. In answer to the protest, Spotify removed 113 episodes of the podcast that contained insensitive language and perceived racist undertones. At the end of the Spotify deal in 2024, Joe signed a fresh one that will pay him $250 million over multiple years. Included in the contract terms were an upfront payment, a minimum guarantee, and an ad revenue share when the podcast is experienced on other platforms such as YouTube and iTunes. In addition to his Spotify revenue, Joe earns an estimated annual income from podcast sponsors of $48 million and an approximate ad revenue from YouTube of $6.2 million. His podcasting income sure adds much to his overall net worth. How much has it swollen up by now? Keep watching with us and discover his true value before we end. How does he spend his millions? During his time hosting Fear Factor, he spent $2.3 million on a starter house in the Ventura County of Bell Canyon, California in 2003. He listed it on the market for $3.2 million in 2020. 5 months later, the property sold for $3.45 million, $250,000 more than he was asking for. Sitting on a 1.05-acre lot, the home spans all of 7,573 square feet. With an expansive lawn, a serene courtyard, a sparkling pool, and a spa, it boasts 5 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. Joe spent $5 million on another home in Bell Canyon in 2019, which is a remarkably different and more contemporary residence. He plunked down $14.4 million on a mansion in Austin, Texas in 2020. Loaded with amenities, the 10,890 square foot retreat-style property sitting on 7.2 acres boasts 8 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms. Included features are a full bar, a gym, a pool, a sauna, a spa, a wine cellar, and a 4-car garage. Found nearby his home is his custom-built Texas podcast studio, which is a Texas cultural powerhouse hub, where conversations that impact millions happen daily. It is where he broadcasts his Spotify-exclusive Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Key features of the studio include high-tech soundproofing and recording equipment, boldly decorated clean industrial design and functionality meant for long-form, in-depth conversations. Joe is also a fairly prolific collector of luxury cars and SUVs. Lauded as the 3rd fastest production car ever made, the Tesla Model SP 100D is a prime example of his undeniable need for speed. Zeroing in on his American automotive interests is his 600 horsepower 2021 Ford Raptor Hennessy Velociraptor. His 2014 Ford Mustang GT is the quintessential pony car, hailed for its simple, no-shortcuts approach to great performance. His 2008 Sharkworks Porsche 997-911 GT3 RS is one of the best and most legendary sports car ever made that provides extra power to make an already sports car simply incomparable. One of Germany's most famous luxury performance cars, his 2005 BMW E46 M3 is beloved for its ample straight-six power, dynamics, and sleek European style and engineering. Known as one of the most capable world automobiles, his 1995 Toyota Land Cruiser FZJ89 TLC 4x4 is loved for its luxury and incredible off-road capability. Created with the Porsche Club of America members in mind, his 1993 Porsche 964 911 RS America adds a pure performance ethos to the authenticity of the air-cooled Porsche 911, recapturing the glory and charm of vintage off-roaders. His 1971 Ford Bronco Icon 4x4 is both a recreation of the Bronco's irresistible appeal and a modern and more capable version of the vintage vehicle. His 1970 Plymouth Barracuda Sick Fish is one of the most iconic muscle cars from the original heyday of big, unbridled American performance machines. A stunning throwback to the late 60s, his 1969 Chevrolet Nova is a stunning example of a custom classic combined with excellent design and engineering. one of the most iconic American sports cars, the design of his 1965 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray remains unique and interesting with its pop-up headlights and a profile evoking its Stingray namesake. A restored example of the last generation of the air-cooled 911, his 993 Gunther Works Porsche 911 is one of only 25 made, making it admirable in every way. The value of Joe's real estate properties and car collection only boosts his net worth. It is almost time to know how much he is really worth in 2025. Give it a couple of minutes more. What are his other sources of income? He co-founded On It, a wellness company selling fitness equipment, workout plans, and nutritional supplements. They eventually sold the company to Unilever in 2021. Still, Joe remains to be the brand's spokesperson, regularly endorsing its products in his podcast. For his endorsement, he receives an annual revenue of $2 million. He owns a comedy club in Austin, Texas, named Comedy Mothership. Billed as an anti-cancel culture club, the alien-themed venue confiscates the cell phones of visitors upon entry and permanently bans all hecklers. After hitting mainstream-level fame and success as the host of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, Joe now enjoys a net worth of $200 million. He's maintained his status as the #1 most listened to Spotify podcaster. Joe has come a long way from his transition from a stand-up comedian to the #1 podcaster in America. For a look at the life of another rich and famous celebrity, simply proceed to watch the next video on cue.